Welcome back. Let's talk about this country. If you watch my previous video, I did mention the beauty of for an undergraduate degree here in Malta and how you can probably choose to go to whatever country else, country you probably have in mind afterward. Then I did something like the undergraduate, Malta undergraduate to Republic of Ireland. Now I have another country where I think you might want to look at. Let's both analyze it together and see if it's something that makes sense to you. Maybe what I'll do is I try as much as possible not to waste time. Thank you all for your support, for being part of my community. So let me just go straight into the topic. Most time, if you have just SSC and you want to try to travel abroad to study, there are so many the challenges of getting there, getting the admission for an undergraduate program is kind of way more difficult than when you're going for master's program or PhD. It's as if most of the countries make it a bit easier for master's programs than the undergraduate. And particularly because most of them, if you're looking at the Europe in general, most of them, they have very few, if not just two of them, that are considered English speaking countries in Europe. If countries have their major languages and where their citizens are very good at, fluent at, you don't expect them to start forcing the citizen, outside their rights to say it must be English. No, no, no. So most time what happens is the undergraduates are mostly done in the language of this country. Then where you get to have options, yakpa options upon options is when you are going for master's program. So but since Malta happens to be the second countries where English is an official language, and the first one going for undergraduate, and the two countries actually where English is an official language, you can actually do any of the program. All your programs are taught and done in English. They're taught in English. Now, since these two countries have options for both undergraduate and masters, any programs you want to go for. But if you had to weigh both options, the school fees and the process of getting in for undergraduate course, what happens to be most flexible and straightforward. So if that's the case, and probably you have other bigger countries in mind and all you have is SSC, why not just do your undergraduate if you can afford to come to Malta to do your undergraduate and then journey through from here to the other country for your master's or your postgraduate programs of masters. That is why I did this kind of series. Let's journey through undergraduate in Malta to somewhere else. Now we're able to do undergraduate in Malta to Republic of Ireland. The next country that I want to talk about is Switzerland. The thing is, people don't really dwell much on the Switzerland. They don't really talk more because you need to understand how it works if you're applying to go for to study in Switzerland. And Switzerland, is a very beautiful country. In fact, the salary is fire. It's the highest in terms of the real minimum wage. Can be getting as high as almost 7,000. It's the highest. But if you're looking at the per capita income, the richest country in the world, when you mention Luxembourg, Luxembourg is actually next to Switzerland in terms of minimum wage. But most time is Switzerland is not really like a Schengen country like EU is. There's a name they call Switzerland on its own is, but any EU visa, any Schengen resident is also visa free to Switzerland. But now Switzerland undergraduate program generally for Switzerland, you would know it could be very difficult to find courses that are taught in English for an undergraduate level in Switzerland. Yeah, it could really be very difficult. You might not get it. So now, if you have love, you want to. Switzerland is a country you really you're looking at. But back home, there are two major key reasons why it might be difficult back home. If you are showing your proof of fund, the statement of account really has to be more like an account. It must have to be like a bank that is having a branch in Switzerland. If you want to show your proof of fund, your living expenses in an account, that bank has to be a bank that is having a branch in Switzerland. The money would have to be there while you're applying for your residence permit, a temporary resident permit too. Now, so it's kind of not too straightforward there. People are not really getting the clues about the proof of fund, how to go about it. And so the best way is a lot of people are not going to details about this Switzerland thing. But the other aspect is that you need like about 20,000, 21,000 euro as your living expenses. And that's where the only bigger headache, the challenge, if you're going for a master program in Switzerland, because most schools in Switzerland, the tuition fees are affordable. You see tuition fee of about €900 to 1,002 euro to 1,500 euro per semester. So it's affordable. So give or take, imagine it's even a 1,200 euro per semester or 1,500 per semester. It means the whole year is about 3,000 euro. Oh, you get. So the best way to go about it is, let's say you're looking for 20,000 euro plus about 3,000 euro for school fees for 1 year, for a 1 year program. So your pursue is for the first year. If it is 1 year for the masters, or more than 1 year, probably 18 months as well. The living expenses, once you are in Malta, you remember what we discussed in that Republic of Malta to Ireland is, you take care of your first year when you get your for an undergraduate course. Then from here, you maybe during break, you can do full time. So probably you tried your best, you save, and you take care of your second year. Your second year, you take care of your third year. Your third year, you have spare, which is kept. Probably you can try to see if you work maybe 1 year full time to 2 more year full time after your qualification, at least to gain that experience before you pursue a master's. Ideally, it is good that you actually have gotten or you've gained work experience before you pursue masters. So you really have something to look at. You're trying to upgrade. You've gone into the labor world and labor market. You've explored. You've tried something, and then you want to upgrade academically. It's actually good to go for 12, at least maybe 1 or 2 years before going for masters. So let's say now, try your best, work for like 2 years, and then your target is to save at least, even if it's 22 to 23,000 euro. You get, so that you have that money. Just probably look for how to, of course, because is there's every tendency that the bank you will have here will probably have branch. A bank you will open your that account, you have the money here, would have branch in Switzerland. Otherwise, you can just reach out to the schools. You can visit Switzerland with your resident permit here in Malta. So you can definitely just reach out to the school or the banks and then do similar block accounts. So they open account for you and you put the 20,000 euro there. Your living expenses, you put it there, you print that one out straight up. You go and apply for your resident permit to continue your postgraduate or master's there in Switzerland. So your targets will not be, while you are in Malta, see if you can save as high as 22 to 23,000 euro, and then it become easy. Don't just think of, there is no need to start saying whether or not you're eventually switching to enter Switzerland with a master's program. And luckily, once you're done, I've seen a video where someone said, after graduation, once after a master's program, when she was done with the program, she got a job. I think it was in accounting field that was earning as high as 82,000 euro per year. Mad, oh bad, over 80,000 euro per year. Yeah, people will say cost of living is high in Switzerland. Forget the cost of living. The same salary too is mad high. So similarly, if you're not careful, that would be more like an average average. There's a tendency you can earn more than that. 80 something thousand euro per year. So all you just have to do is come and build up, finish the 3 years in the graduate program. You have a qualification that is globally accepted and recognized. With the BSc, you don't have long stories to start stressing yourself over anything. Then the issue of proof of fund, clear or not clear, you have it clear now with you since you have the money. You can even try your best to go for cheaper schools that are about 900 per semester with just 1,800, 2,000 euro for the whole year. You are done with it. And don't be surprised, they might even just ask you to pay for only the first semesters. So you do the whole thing, target 22 euro, pay for the living expenses, pay for the school fees, enter Switzerland. So that once you're done, you might get the reference or recommendation from your school and they get a job. You start earning like, check it out, 80 something, 90 something. You get. So this is just what I want to talk about. And I believe this one will not be short. So once you're done there, I believe Switzerland too will not be different from almost all the other European countries. In fact, all of them, they both have this similar residence style. If you stay in a country for like 5 years, you have the opportunity to, become a permanent resident. Most countries in Europe, the size are similar. They're very similar. So this means as soon as you get to Switzerland, you start earning fine, making your big money, then you become a permanent resident. Probably after 5 years, you would do 5 years straight to get a permanent resident, and then you do your other more years and get a citizenship passport. But from what I learned, so if you think it's not true, drop that in the comment section. If if you don't believe that's true. But from what I know, from what I learned, I think you will need to like do about 12 years in Switzerland if you want the passport. It's one of the very powerful passport in the world. But I think you will need to go as long as 12 years if you want to become a citizen of Switzerland. But having to become permanent residents, I think it's easy for you to, reunite your family and all that. And in most cases, when you have job, like full-time jobs, and in most of all this country, your family can eventually reunite with you. In the case of Switzerland, once you finish your masters and you're working already, I don't think it's going to be a problem. In case you eventually you're married, you have family, and then you work family reunion for your family to join you. Once you are now on a full-time work permit, okay. So this is it. Just then target of 5 years more, get the PR, and then start enjoying every benefit like a citizen. Which of course, most of this time you hear there's always free healthcare, there's always waivers, free tuition, free. You don't pay school fees most times when you are a citizen or permanent residence in Europe. Most times you don't pay school fees when you're even trying to study in some other European countries. So that's the beauty. This is how you joining yourself through undergraduate program down to Switzerland. Then we'll talk about the next country in my next video. But until then, let me say thank you for watching out to this moment. Till we meet again in my next video, we'll both look at what is the country you are looking at once you get your undergraduate here in Malta. Where do you think you could switch to for a master's program or postgraduate program? And if you have any other country you have in mind you want us to look at, what's the possibility? Kindly leave that in the comment section. Drop those, suggest which country are you looking at? What are the pathway you can use once you are here in Malta for an undergraduate program? And the intention is just to finish your programs and then switch to other countries. Let's both talk about those countries together. Drop them in the comment section. So if I get a number of suggestions, we will journey through Malta from undergraduate in Malta to that country. Then until I meet again in that video, in my next video, let me say bye for now.